Okay, before the meeting starts tonight, I have an announcement to make. And I've had some questions about live meetings in the face of, I want to say, some changes to the Open Meetings Act that started January 1st, 2022. I know there are some exceptions to holding Zoom meetings, and I am prepared tonight before the meeting to call a state of emergency for the city of Harper Woods. I have just received statistics from the Wayne County Public Health Department, and cases confirmed, COVID cases confirmed today have been 12 cases today. There has been 1 death today. We have had 65 deaths so far since COVID began, and the total confirmed cases for the 2.2 square mile of Harper Woods is 2,831. So given those statistics, I think it would be a prudent measure at this point to call a state of emergency and continue Zoom meetings for the entire 2022. But before I do that, I would like to have an opinion from our city attorney, Sharon. I hate to throw this at you at this time, but can you help me out here?
Certainly, John. We had discussed this a couple of months ago, knowing that at the end of December, the rules were changing as to the automatic remote meetings. The Open Meetings Act 15.263 paren 2 states explicitly there are 3 reasons when you can have a remote meeting. One is military service, another is for a medical condition, and we always use this, for example, if a council person had, let's say, chemotherapy, and they were fine to be present at the meeting, but they couldn't attend because of their low immune system, because of the chemotherapy. That's an example of medical condition. And the third one, which is present today, and which quite frankly, several municipalities as well as entities are using, is a state of emergency that's called by the chief executive officer of any local community. It's a local state of emergency, which is explicitly provided for in the Open Meetings Act. And that's exactly what you've done here today, is declare the state of emergency. And I think as some of the comments we heard even before the meeting shows the extent of the contagions that are still present. And as the numbers you indicated, I would, just by a frame of reference, as I said, several communities have already done this. I know Detroit has set forth a resolution that they will remain remote, all of their meetings within their entities remote through July of 2020. And certainly the Detroit Department of Health has also sent out a resolution that they will continue remote from January 1st of this year, at least through March of this year. So under the clear terms of the Open Meetings Act, you can declare an emergency and we can continue with these remote meetings.
Thank you very much. And I am declaring a state of emergency for the city of Harper Woods, and with all the intentions of continuing the remote meetings for the entire year 2022, or until the condition significantly improves. And Mayor, I don't have anything else to add. Would you like to call the meeting to order?
Okay, I call the meeting to order. And we'll do a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America,
To the
to the republic for which it stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, indivisible,
Liberty and
liberty and
And
justice for all.
all.
All right, thank you. Okay, roll call, Mrs. Frank.
Mayor Kindle.
Present in the City Hall of Harper Woods.
Okay. Councilwoman Costantino.
Present from my home in Harper Woods.
Councilman Jenny.
Present from my home in Harper Woods.
Councilwoman Pies.
Present in Harper Woods.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Present from my home in Harper Woods.
Councilwoman Williams.
Present from my home in Harper Woods.
Councilman Tucson.
Present from my home on Danbury Lane in Harper Woods.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
And City Attorney DeWally.
Here.
All right then. So I need a motion to approve the minutes from the regular council meeting on January 5th.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
I'll offer the motion to approve the city council meeting minutes from the regular council meeting on January 5th, 2022.
Support.
Support.
Okay, Tom Jennings, okay. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Councilwoman Constantino, are you there?
Yes, I said aye. I was the first one.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
no, I didn't hear you. Okay.
I'll
All,
speak up.
okay, thank you. Is there anyone opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Madam Mayor, can I step in for a moment here?
Sure.
We've had two people that have logged in with their phones with just their phone numbers. City has requested that we please have names to identify you. That way, if you wish to speak, we know who you are. I'm going to click on ask to unmute, and if you could just give me your name and I can read.
Okay, and you have someone that is anonymous, so that just.
Yeah, the person that's anonymous and public viewer, could you give me a name, please? If not, the mayor can request that I remove you.
You spoke just now.
Demond Washington.
Okay, Demond, I see your last or your first name on there, but we have a couple that haven't identified.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, they haven't come on to identify themselves, Madam Mayor, so it's your call.
I can identify myself. I'm not sure if my name shows up on my phone.
okay,
Okay, yes, sir. Your name?
Mike Maher, Maher.
okay. Well, if you choose to speak, you have to identify yourself in person. So we're gonna move on. Okay, we're not gonna hold this up regarding that. So just know that if you choose to speak, you must identify and make yourself visible to us. Thank you. All right, now, public comment on agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that'd like to make a comment on agenda items? Raise your hand. I see no one. What about you, Bob?
I do not, Madam Mayor.
All right then. So we'll move on to consent agenda. I need a resolution.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Jennings.
I'll make the resolution to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 10.
Support.
Support.
Support by, who was that? Vivian?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Is there any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, who?
Costantino.
Okay, Cheryl.
Yeah, usually we mention when we do this, the names of the board and commissioners that are being reappointed. when we approved the consent agenda. And so if you'd like, I can read those, or if Tom prefers to read them, whichever. I'll be happy to read them.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, Carol Kaplan for Board of Review for 3-year term. Richard Pasegna, Board of Zoning Appeals, a 3-year term. Kenneth Pointer, Brownfield Authority, 3-year term. John Szymanski, Brownfield Authority, 3-year term. Debbie Keene, Election Commission, 1-year term. Timothy Fulmer, Election Commission, 1-year term. Greg Vargo, Planning Commission, 3 years. David Keene, Planning Commission, 3 years. Kathy Mathis, Recreation Advisory Board, 4 years. Mary Beth Kane, Library Board, 5 years. Laverne Rutledge, Local Officers Compensation Commission, 5 years.
Thank you very much. Is there any further discussions?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
I have a couple of questions. One is regarding $3,000 for the reissue of the police SWAT fees. I'm wondering what that is. And also on the following page, there is, oops, I'm losing it here. There is also for the armor vest for the PSL uniform boots police. I'm wondering if that is for one officer. I'm just trying to get a better idea of expenses for our officers.
Okay,
Thank you.
the first part, that was a lost check and it was just reissued. So that was just a reissue check. As far as the armor vest, I'll let our chief, Smith, respond to that. Chief, would you care to respond?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and City Council. That's a combination of part-time officers' equipment that we pay for every year.
Also, why are we paying SWAT fees to Grosse Pointe Park?
It's our contribution amongst the Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods Police Departments to have members on the SWAT team.
So we all have members on the SWAT team, or just Grosse Pointe
we-
Park SWAT team?
We all have members. They were the managing agency when this was set up.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
yes,
and Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, this takes us to old business, and since we have no old business, we move on to new business and city manager report.
Item G1, award of bid, water service material investigation program. Mayor and council, we recently accepted bids for the state mandated water service material investigation program. Attached are the results of the bid conducted by our engineers and the DPW superintendent, along with his memorandum recommending the lowest qualified bid. This project entails providing a complete inventory of our water services and submitting them to Eagle before January 1st, 2025. A physical verification of approximately 360 randomly chosen locations must be identified, and they are scattered throughout the city. We have been awarded a grant through Eagle to assist with the cost of this investigation. Our engineers' bid tabulation and recommendation are also attached for your review. I have reviewed these bids and concur with their recommendation that the lowest bid be accepted. Mayor, a resolution is required.
I need a resolution. Is there anyone?
Madam Mayor,
Councilwoman Sawicki?
I'll offer the resolution to accept the lowest bid submitted by ML Chartier Excavating in the amount of $329,655 for the water service material investigation program, and further that the grant received by Eagle in the amount of $322,970 assist with the cost of this project.
Support.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Williams. Any discussion?
Madam
I have a
Mayor,
question. Madam Mayor. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Councilwoman
Okay.
Sue.
it's
Mr.
okay.
Tucson first.
Oh, yeah, well, we're gonna get some help on that, but it's still gonna be a difference of about $6,685. Where's that funding gonna come from?
We'll use ARPA money for that.
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
Councilwoman Sawicki.
couple questions. From what I see, this has to do with lead and copper, the lead and copper requirements. That is, the grant that we're receiving has to do with lead and copper requirements. And I just want to make certain that this overlaps. This drinking water asset management, that is the Eagle part of this, and the water service investigation, which is the requirement by law. Is that what the investigation is about? Is the investigation that's required about lead and copper?
Okay, I will give you a high level summary, and I'm gonna ask Bill Schneider for the details, but essentially it works like this. There have been lines identified in the city. Not all city residents have lead or copper lines that need to be remediated, but we have a portion of our residents that have these lines, and these lines have to be removed per state mandate. And that is what this project is about. And Bill, would you like to shed a few more details regarding this? Take your mute off.
Yeah, sure. I'll be glad to, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you. Yeah, this goes hand in hand with our lead service or water service line investigation program as mandated by the Eagle. This funding will significantly pay for the investigation of about 360 locations. You know what? And Councilman Toussaint there pointed out that it may be a little short on the funding side, but we have different things built into this program. There were add-ons built into this program. For example, at some locations, we made allocations for the removal of trees or the removal of concrete. So what we're going to do to make this fit within the grant funding that was provided is we can move one house east, west, north, or south to do that line investigation with justification through the state, thereby lowering the cost of the program and trying to get the funding to cover everything that we need to have done. And to John's comment, he is correct. To date, out of about 2,000, around 3,000 locations, we've identified 100 lead service lines. As such, we're obligated under the state to replace 7% of the known lines per year. And since we know that there's 100, we have to change out 7 lines per year. And we've been doing that, and we're in total compliance. We've been doing that for the last 2 years. So what this is going to allow us to do is to more expediently, if you will, pursue the identification of lines and consequently make those changes where need be.
Madam Mayor, follow-up question.
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
If someone suspects that they have lead lines coming into their house, should they contact DPW, or is that outside of the scope of this project?
What has been provided for in the past is we have filters, we have pitchers, we have other things that could be that they could use to assist with that effort.
But how would someone know whether they have a lead line coming into their house? Because I know at one point I was told I had a lead line coming in, but then when DPW came down into my house to do something with the water line, I was told at that time that no, it's not a lead line. So how does someone know whether they have a lead line coming in?
Bill?
Yeah, you know, that's something, certainly if they contact the DPW, we could send out a couple of folks from our water department to assist with that. But we also have a little descriptive narrative that kind of shows the difference between lead and copper, in that they'll reference that copper kind of looks like a penny. It's the same color as a penny. And if you were to take your fingernail file or something and just scuff the service line where it comes into your house by your water meter, and if it is copper color, or if it's copper color like a penny, then it's copper. If it's silver, then there's a very good chance it's lead. And we want people to call us, because that will help us too with the
What if it's-
identification of this.
Bill, what if it's black?
Then somebody painted it. More than
Oh,
it could quite possibly. You know what?
Thank
I
you.
mean, in a very rare instance, there could be, sometimes they find galvanized, but we have not found any galvanized or steel lines coming into the homes.
okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right, is there any further discussion? Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Your mute is on.
I know. Okay, my question was, as I read this, I see that it requires communities to report to Eagle no later than January 1st, 2025. So after we do our bids and we get the project started. So I was wondering what would be the next step? So after the bids are approved, then what did the company do next? Are they coming out to begin the water quality assessment, and how long will it take? And then when will they start? I mean, what will we be replacing? Possibly more than our 7% of lines each year based on the results?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great observation. Yeah, what this investigation program involves is a process called hydro excavation. And what they use is something that looks like a giant vacuum cleaner or snorkel tube, and it will remove product, the dirt, the ground, the grass above the service lines, which are typically 5 feet deep. So this hydro excavation, they use a water jet and an extraction process to remove product. They'll get down to the line and they'll physically note what their observations are. And they have to, by the standard is, they have to do that 18 inches on each side of what they call the valve box or the stop box. So they want a 3-point identification. So you're going to have a hydro excavation, one on each side of the valve box, and then physically by entering the home and identifying the service line composition where it comes up through the floor. Now, what you said is we have given thought to, and that's great that you noted that, because if we go through this investigation program and we're going to, let's say, identify or investigate 360 locations, and all of a sudden we have another 200 lines that we discover are lead, then we're obligated to change out 7%. So 7% of 200 would be 14 lines. So there would be 100% uptick in the service lines that we need to change out. Now, something that's tied in with that too, and we just applied for that, the city of Harper Woods, and I work with our engineers to do this also. We just applied for a grant for about $500,000 to help the city pay for service line change out when it comes to changing the lines, upgrading them to copper. So there's moving parts to this, and in a perfect world, they will all fall into place incrementally. But whatever the case, we're prepared to deal with whatever comes our way and remain in compliance with the state of Michigan.
Okay. All right, thank you, Bill.
Sure, pleasure.
Is there any other questions? Any further discussion? Okay.
How do we get, oh, Madam Chair, I couldn't get unmuted fast enough. How do the people get selected to get these tests done in their home? Am I qualified to get tested?
You know what, we can come out and do an assessment. Of course, we'd be glad to tell you what the service line composition is. It's been our experience that all the homes we have looked at on Danbury Lane have copper. But yeah, we can do a site-specific check for you. And the selection program where we came up with 361, and it was kind of a unique situation, but Eagle provided us with a software program where we put all roughly 5,700 homes into this program. And it's kind of like, I don't know, say like the Wheel of Fortune. You push a button and it just randomly spits out an address, and then you do that. And that's how we came up with the 361 locations. And that's why we have some degree of flexibility of the line we sampled. Like we can move one house north or one house south, because there may be a giant tree sitting on top of a service line. And rather than have the city incur the cost of maybe $6,000 or $8,000 to cut down that tree, we're going to move one house north or south and save our resources to continue the investigation.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle
Yes.
and Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Item G2, progress payment, Beaconsfield resurfacing project. Mayor and council, attached is a memorandum from the Superintendent of Public Works transmitting an invoice from the Michigan Department of Transportation for the city's portion of the Beaconsfield resurfacing project, Phase 1, Kingsville to Woodland. As you recall, this MDOT project required a match from the city, and this invoice represents a portion of that cost. I have reviewed this and concur with his recommendation that this invoice be approved. Mayor, a resolution is required.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Constantino.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the payment to Michigan Department of Transportation in the amount of $21,625.54 for the city's proportionate share of the Beaconsfield resurfacing project.
Support.
Support by,
Tom Jenny.
Support.
okay, Councilman Jennings. All right. Is there any discussion? No discussion? Okay. All right, then roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino
Yes.
and Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G3, progress payment number 4, 2021 storm sewer repair project number 180-256. Mayor and council, attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 4 on the 2021 storm sewer repair project number 180-256. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is required.
I
Madam
need-
Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Williams?
I'll offer the resolution. By resolution to approve a payment to Great Lakes Contracting Solutions LLC in the amount of $10,523 for progress payment number 4 on the 2021 storm sewer repair project number 180-256.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Constantino. Discussion?
Yeah, quick question, Mayor.
Yes.
This is payment number 4. How many more are left? Do we know offhand?
I believe this represents about 85% of the payments, but Bill, and it's almost complete. Would you care to have a few words on that?
Sure, I'd be glad to, Madam Mayor and Council. Thank you, and thank you, Tom. Yeah, you know what? I think this is winding down. This is going to be the last, if not one of the last payments for this. The only thing we need to reconcile still is the retainage, and there is retainage on this particular project. You know, what I've done to pare back the cost so we can stay at this $10,000 is we are going to do the restoration, and we've made the decision that it is not necessary to do a post video of these storm sewers that were repaired. Reason being, our engineers were on site to inspect them already once, and I was on site to inspect them also. So we're going to save by kind of nixing, if you will, the post video and the restoration by Great Lakes, and we'll do the restoration in-house ourselves, which amounts to topsoil and grass seed. We're going to save an additional $2,810 on this project. But this should either be the last one or there should be one more coming, which would be the retainage.
Thank you for stepping up and doing the backfill and all that. We appreciate it.
Yep.
All right, is there any further discussion?
Yeah, still have a question on, from what Tom's question was too. So does that mean like we may be through with payments by June or July or?
You know what, I'm sorry. I gave some direction to the engineers to go ahead and start wrapping this up and winding down since we don't need the post video and we're going to do the restoration ourselves. So I would expect this to be done within the next month or so.
Is there any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams. I see you nodding your head.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
and Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G4, professional assessment, first responder services. Mayor and council, the city is in the process of reevaluating and improving first responder response services for our residents and businesses. As a first step, a complete professional analysis will be conducted of fire department services regarding operational, personnel, facilities, and equipment costs for now and in the future. Plant Moran have assisted me in the selection of a consulting firm that specializes in assessing fire services. I have had a lengthy initial interview with the associates of Winborn Consulting, LLC, in conjunction with senior financial advisors at Plant Moran. I am confident that Winborn Consulting, LLC, will do a thorough analysis and assessment of our fire service delivery model currently in use. The project team from Wilborn is highly trained and experienced. They have worked in 22 states, consulted to the court monitor in the United States versus New York over discrimination in hiring within the fire department of New York City, providing costing and financial offers for labor negotiations, and supported counsel representing municipalities in negotiations with service agreements. It is my recommendation that we enter into an agreement for this analysis, and further, that the payment will come from the American Rescue Plan funds, known as ARPA funds. Mayor, a resolution is required.
Madam Chair?
I'm sorry, Mr. Toussaint, Vivian, Councilwoman Sawicki had her hand up before you spoke. So Councilwoman Sawicki.
Thank you. I'll offer the resolution to accept the proposal submitted by Winborn Consulting LLC in the amount of $33,580 for a complete analysis of our first responder services, and further that the cost will be made with American Rescue Plan funds.
Okay, Councilwoman Sawicki and Councilwoman Constantino support. Discussion, please.
Madam
Madam
Mayor.
Mayor?
Okay.
Whoa, I'm ready.
All right. First, Councilwoman Sawicki.
Just a real quick
Councilwoman
question.
Pies.
When I was looking over the documents, the only thing I noticed was in the overview, we don't mention MedStar, and I presume that the analysis will include that aspect of our current system as well. Is that correct?
That's, yeah, it's going to be complete public safety. It's going to look at all the components. It's taken from a neutral viewpoint. It's going to document shortcomings. I want to say Wilborn has assisted over 600 public safety organizations in the United States and 20 foreign countries as well. They're going to look at our strategic operations, our planning, our data sharing, RFP development, and workflow assignments and assessments. And what is going to come out of this is a completely a financial, factual report that will be shared with the council and the public, much in the same manner that Plant Moran shares their documents. We realize this can be a very emotional type venture here. And again, it's going to lay out all the facts. It's going to measure current service levels and cost against industry practices. They're going to look at our dispatching arrangements, our dispatching incidents, counts of mutual aid, capital items. They're going to assess all of our services, expenditures, how we utilize our mutual aid, and I want to say, and how it all relates to police, fire, and ambulance. And we're going to get better service out of this. And the council is going to be fully informed of this. And our expectation is to get more and better policing services, more and better fire services, more and better and logistical ambulance services. But we have to have the report first, and it's going to come out of the ARPA funding. No money is going to be spent from general fund dollars.
It looks as if they say they can go back as far as 5 years ago when they're looking at records. But do we know when this report might be available? What timeline are we looking at in terms of?
Yeah, they're going to move fairly quickly. What's going to happen is we're going to give financial documents to them, everything that they request. They are going to do a walkthrough. They are going to look at the building. They're going to assess how we plan on using the ARPA money for the future updates in the locker rooms. We know that we're going to have male and female firefighters, police officers. Currently, we don't have any kind of space or locker rooms
For females.
for females to make those accommodations. So all of this is going to be part of that assessment. We're looking forward to it. The city has never had this kind of assessment at all. And the assessments that we have had in past years have always been internal assessments. We have done those assessments. So they were always met with some form of skepticism. This is going to be done by an outside organization that is highly respected, that is used by the biggest fire departments, police departments in the country. So we think that they should be able to pinpoint and analyze, what's going on in the city of Harper Woods.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Pies.
Thank you. And looking at this, I'm wondering, given that our police officers are cross-trained as firefighters, I'm wondering if this will include our police department services and their personnel, facilities, and equipment costs. Also, I'm thinking that if we're evaluating services, which can be both positive and productive, I'm wondering why it doesn't seem right that we're not applying for the SAFER grant that the firefighters, we applied for it last year. And so I'm wondering if we're taking an assessment of all the financials, why we wouldn't include something like that. It seems to me that if we were awarded it, we could then help with staffing and possibly help with some other supplies that go along with that. I've also heard from a few people that it appears a few residents, firefighters have posted on Facebook about the grant. And there's some residents feeling, and I feel this too, is that we're not acting in good faith. And perhaps there might be some lacking in transparency, though I think it's a really good thing that we're talking about this here right now. It's something seems amiss, and I can't figure it out. I've heard from some other residents that feel like there's a lack of transparency going on. So I'm wondering if you could speak to all of that real quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, this company is going to look at all of those grants. I want to say we have applied for those grants last year. We were not given those grants. Nothing has changed. I want to say grant money has a way of appearing and disappearing, and there's an obligation of hiring. And with the way the city is and the mills and the PA 33 assessment, this is where it becomes very, very dangerous, because every person that is added on as a firefighter eliminates a police officer in the city. Don't let anybody kid you that that is not the end result. That is the end result. So we want to see what is the best use of grants, okay, by professionals, by people that don't have political agendas or emotional agendas. We want the best for what's in the city. And the basis of it is, let's get the report and let's see exactly what the report reveals. There is money for first responders. And again, we don't want to use it foolishly. We want to have a very, very well laid out, thoughtful plan that the city can sustain. That's what we're looking at. We want to improve police services. We want to improve fire services. Transparency will come when everything is in a public forum. I want to say when the report is released. So to get ahead of myself, I don't know. I have no idea what the report is going to reveal. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. And to have this as a blueprint is going to be a guiding document for the city council. So just everything that you cited, residents are talking, probably firefighters are talking too. They're working up emotions, and we're trying to eliminate that aspect with fact and financial. We don't want to go into bankruptcy, but we want to improve city services. The city is on a roll right now. And at the same time, we know that we have to beef up police, fire, and ambulance services. We need more bodies, and we're going to look to get them, but we have to get them in a very educated format. And this, I want to say, this study is going to be a major building block of that entire process, where you will have fact in front of you, and that will help you weed out, I want to say, innuendos. And that's about all I can say. We're not, giving up anything. And the SAFER grants, like I said, they're available every year. So, we'll know how to best use these. But we want to have experts coming in here telling us, how to use them, what to look out for, things like that. That is not apparent right now. So we will be 100% transparent, just like a fishbowl. And that's all I have.
Okay. I really think it's a good idea if we keep politics out of this.
Yes.
Even the word politics out of this. And also, I think it's an emotional subject. I think by posting it on Facebook doesn't.
But who's posting?
Matter of information. That people feel a certain way about it is, of course, to be expected. But I have to say, on the part of the firefighters, I don't think posting about it is intended to be first and foremost emotional. I think it's a matter of knowledge out there. And when we hear knowledge, we act on that. So I just like us all to be aware of that as we move forward.
And I have one further comment. This study, we're not looking to lay off anybody. We are not looking to cut anybody's pay. We know we need bodies, and we have to have the best way of getting those bodies. We're having a lot of problems recruiting people because of rules that are in existence today. And we have to know how to best lift ourselves out of that position. You know, we're offering very, very competitive pay right now. And we're still having hard time recruiting people. So we need some help in this area.
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman
Yeah,
Potts.
just to follow up on what Acting City Manager Szymanski just said regarding hiring. I just want to remind everybody something I mentioned last year, that I'm on the Municipal Services Subcommittee for the Michigan Municipal League, and that we were told about some legislation, or excuse me, about a commission that our legislators were trying to form. I have to find out whether or not it was formed. They were trying to do it by this March, but it was strictly for the purpose of looking at why people are no longer going into police work and firefighting work. It's happening throughout the state. There's a lot of different reasons they found, everything from not wanting to shave to not wanting to be cross-trained sometimes, but also a lot of other psychological reasons. Are going to be looking across the board at that. I don't know if they have a timeline on filing a report, but I just wanted to put it out there as a reminder to people that this isn't something that's just particular to Harper Woods or even to our area. It's happening throughout the state, and it's severe enough that our legislators really want to thoughtfully look into it.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Councilmember Pies. Everything that you just said are very, very realistic concerns. Yes.
Okay.
Madam Mayor?
Okay,
Madam Mayor?
Councilwoman Williams, I thought Councilman Toussaint was next, but if not, he was right after Councilwoman Pies. Are you speaking, Councilman Toussaint?
His mute is
Okay.
on.
Then
Taking a nap.
we'll move on.
No, I'm not speaking.
Okay,
Councilwoman Williams, you can go ahead.
Councilwoman Williams, please speak.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to piggyback on something Councilwoman Paez asked, she asked one question which I found really interesting, and I'm not sure if you actually answered it. She said, because when we look at this is mostly the fire department assessment, whether it would include the police department or public safety, or would that be like a separate assessment or something?
We're public safety now, and I want to say that this is all, it's going to touch on all of those areas. So we have to see what comes out of the report. You know, we have to see what comes out of the report. That's all I could say here. I have no idea what's going to come out of this. This is going to be for first responder services. So, you know, at a minimum, we just have to see what kind of evaluation comes out, what is said, and then discuss it from that point. We have to make some changes. That's for sure.
All right, is there any further discussion? Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilman Toussaint,
You're on mute.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G5, Michigan Municipal League Capital Conference. Mayor and Council, we have received the attached notice of the League's annual legislative conference to be held virtually March 15th, 16th, 2022. It is customary for the city council to authorize attendance by the interested members. Councilwoman Pies has shown interest in attending, and if there are others who wish to attend, please let my office know as soon as possible so that we can register you. Mayor, a resolution is required.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Councilman Tucson.
authorize, my resolution authorized those city council members interested in virtually attend the Michigan Municipal League's annual legislative conference, March 15 through 16, 2022, with the city paying all necessary and related expenses.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes.
Discussion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
are we sure it's virtual? I looked at the
It's
page
not.
earlier.
It's not, I'm not sure if it's virtual or not. They will make
I
that,
thought it was in person.
it is supposed to be in person.
I thought so too.
Yeah, it mentions Lansing.
Yeah,
Okay.
what I sent over to Leslie was in person, but I'm not for sure. I'll be able to have a better feel on it from the trustees meeting later this week.
It's probably my fault. I think I did an actual cut and paste from last year's.
Yeah.
So my apologies, but I agree. I don't think it's virtual.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
I know that last year, when it went virtual, the majority of us were able to attend, and I think that was very valuable. And so if you have any pull with the league, and they can give us a deal and virtual attendance, that would be really wonderful. That would be great.
It may be hybrid, it may be virtual and in person. So as I said, when I attend the trustee meeting later I think it's next Wednesday or Tuesday, then I'll have a better answer and I will give the information to John and he will email it out to everyone.
Okay, then we'd know better if we could go or not. Okay. That'd be great.
Mhm. So any further discussion? All right, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Kindle,
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Yes.
Councilman Jenny,
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki,
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G6, acceptance of retirement, Director of Public Safety. Mayor and Council, it is with regret that I forward the attached letter from Director Vince Smith regarding his recent decision to retire from Harper Woods after serving this community for the last 25 years. The mayor will present him with a special citation, and we wish him well in his future endeavors. It would be my recommendation that it be accepted. And I want to say personally that Director Smith has been a pleasure to work with. Him and I have bonded very well this last year and a half under some extreme circumstances at all hours of the day and night and any given day of the week. So it is regretfully accepted. And Chief Smith, we're all going to miss you here. And Mayor, a motion is required.
Okay,
Madam Mayor,
yes, Councilman Jenny.
I'll make the motion to accept with regret, very much with regret, the letter from Vince Smith regarding his intent to retire as of Director of Public Safety effective January 28th, 2022.
Support.
Support by Councilwoman Sawicki. Discussion.
Madam Mayor?
First of all, we have a beautiful proclamation for Vince.
Gotta hold it up.
Oh.
I can hold it up if you want.
Can you read it?
And I'm not going to read the whole thing but it was from the city of Harper Woods, Wayne County proclamation in honor of Vince Smith. Whereas Vince Smith began his career in Harper Woods on September 2nd, 1997, as a patrol officer, and whereas by he climbed up through the ranks, obtaining the title of sergeant, lieutenant, and director of public safety. And so therefore, we like to be it further resolved. I'm just reading the end of it because, you know, all this in the middle of it. It's just how disappointing it is. I'm really sorry that Vince is leaving me. But anyway, be it further resolved that the mayor and city council extend him best wishes for his continued success in all his endeavor as he retires. And this is dated the 19th day of January, 2022. And I have to say myself personally, you know, Vince and I came on this job with a learning experience and a learning curve. And as John and I often say, we were baptized by fire here, because every day there was a new twist and there was a new something. But one thing I could count on was that Vince was always helpful, suggestive, and had the best interest of what was best for our city. So I truly appreciate him because, as I said, we have been through a whole lot in these last 2 years. And I understand his need to go ahead on and retire, because if nothing else, we have learned in these last 2 years that life is not a guarantee. And you have to stop and smell the roses at some point in time in life. And if you have family issues or family things that you need to take care of, then you need to stop and take care of that, because that's all a part of what, you know, God gives us as our families, and we need to take care of each other. And so, Vince, I wish you much success and nothing but the best for you and your family. So is there anyone else that want to speak? Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes, I also wanted to echo all of these sentiments toward Chief Smith, because I think that you have been a good presence in Harper Woods throughout your career, and especially over these last couple of years when things got a little rocky at times. And I think that you had a good sense about you. You know, you reached out to the community in ways that were really important. And so I really appreciate everything you've done for us. Thank you.
Is there any further?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilman Toussaint, or is that Jennings?
Either way.
Okay.
Hey, I'll go ahead. Yeah,
Go ahead,
Vince, it's not right. Then as soon as I just got you trained, you can't be leaving me now.
Yeah, you trained. Oh my God. I say that. Ooh, I need a drink behind that one. All right, Councilman Jennings.
Yes, I would just like to thank the director for all his years of service. I mean, not just the last couple, all of them. He stuck with us through thick and thin. It's been awesome. I just want to tell him that retirement life is very, very nice.
Yes, if you can get it.
And find something else to do, because you're going to get bored real quick like I did. So, but congratulations, enjoy, and thank you again for all your years of service. I know the last couple have been difficult, but thank you so much for all of it.
Okay.
That's it for me.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to speak?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
I just wanted to say thank you also to our Public Safety Director, Vincent Smith. I've only really gotten to know you the past 2 years as you were appointed. And as our mayor said, it was rather baptism by fire. And I think you really showed what you in this town are made of. And I think you represented us well. I think you're a tough guy, and you showed it. At the same time, you showed a lot of compassion for our community and for outsiders from our community who were all going through a really difficult time, especially the year before last. it's something new, I think, for the entire city, and you did more than step up. And I really appreciate that. I wish you the very best. And I have to say, I don't think you will get bored being retired. I think you'll enjoy it. Don't get another job right off the bat. And I hope we hear from you, and that you and your family do well also. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Constantino?
Do we have to accept this? I'd rather not.
Oh,
I'd like to encourage everybody to vote no. Anyway, yes, Chief Smith has been exactly what the city needed during this time period. He first came in, had to clean up the department and the whole public safety department. He was there during the most difficult times our city has probably ever had. And I'm not really ready for him to retire. I wish he would consider sticking around a little longer. So I don't know. I'm going to vote no, but you will follow your own conscience. And hopefully he'll still consult with us in the future.
okay. You're going to stop the man from retiring? All right. Councilwoman Williams, would you like to speak?
Yes. I want to wish Director Smith the best in his retirement. I've only known him a couple of years since I've been on the council, but anytime I've ever talked to him, he's treated me with the utmost respect. He's always been very professional. And I do appreciate everything that he's done for the city of Harper Woods. So good luck to you, Director Smith. Enjoy your retirement.
Thank you.
Yes, Director Smith, he has some more.
Yes. Director Smith, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for their kind words tonight. It's been my privilege and my honor. You know, you talk about treating everybody the right way. I learned from my first chief, Larry Semple. First minute I interviewed with them, I always said, you know, whoever gave my first chance, I'd stay. So that's where I learned my loyalty from. Harper Woods gave me a chance, so I returned the favor. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
You know what, I wanted to chime in too real quick as a friend and, you know, somebody from Public Works here too. You know, whenever the DPW had found themselves in a bit of a pickle and needed backup or support or traffic control or an extra set of eyes for sensitive missions that we were taking care of, the police department was always there. And, you know, to be able to say always is kind of rare. It wasn't some of the time. It wasn't part of the time. It wasn't whenever they felt like it. Vince made sure we had the support we needed when we needed that. And that kept us safe doing our jobs too. And I really do appreciate that too, Vince.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right, then. So if there's no further discussion, we'll ask all in favor of accepting the retirement of Director Smith.
Aye.
Aye.
Is anyone opposed to accepting his
Nay.
retirement?
Nay.
Okay. Okay, for real now. Is there anyone opposed to accepting not accepting the retirement of Director Smith?
I want to go on record, nay.
Excuse me?
I am opposed to accepting this. I think it's too soon.
Okay, all right, well, the motion carries. So we're
Okay.
that. Now we have one addition.
Yes, we have an addition here. We'd like to have an agenda item added per discussion from the ordinance committee in regards to forming a subcommittee to assist the city council with the marijuana regulation in the city. And I guess, Mayor, as a first start, you would need to entertain a motion to add an agenda item.
Okay, I need to.
Madam
Okay,
Mayor,
yes, Councilwoman Sawicki.
I'll offer the, I guess, motion to add to our agenda discussion about the placement of council members on the ordinance, on the committee to look at marijuana.
No.
This is just to add an
That's-
agenda
it's
item,
just
and
to
the next,
add the
next
agenda
one will be
item.
there.
All right, isn't that the agenda item that we're adding?
Yeah, but we first have to add it to the agenda.
And
So,
that's all I wanted to do, was to add it to the agenda, but I specified what we were adding, so.
okay.
Is there any support?
Support.
Okay.
Okay. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies?
could Acting Director Szymanski explain this for our audience?
Not
No,
until it's added.
Oh, I'm
just
sorry. I
added.
support it added to the agenda. No
It's just
discussion from
adding
me.
this to the agenda. All in favor of adding this to the agenda? Please,
Aye.
say
Aye.
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 anyone opposed to adding it to the agenda?
Motion carries.
Motion carries.
Okay, the agenda item itself is to form a subcommittee to assist the city council with marijuana regulation in the city. Mayor, a motion is needed.
Okay, is there anyone that wants to add the motion?
Okay, so we can.
Councilwoman
Mayor.
Zwicky.
I'll add it to our agenda, add the
We
motion.
added to the agenda, we passed that.
Right,
So
right.
now-
Added so we can vote on it. So we
Yeah.
can,
So now we have to do the committee. We are,
Support.
thank you.
okay,
Support.
Support, 2 cents.
all right. Any discussion?
Madam
That is-
Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Pies.
now could we have our Acting City Manager Szymanski explain this for our audience?
Sure. At the ordinance meeting, we had a discussion to set up a committee to assist the city council. Again, nothing was decided in terms of how many. I do know that the mayor will be automatically added to this committee, and I believe, and Mayor, you could correct me if I misspeak, 2 council members, and we will have citizen or resident delegates. And Mayor, maybe you want to add a few comments to this as well.
No, just that we need to have the subcommittee because we passed the ordinance, but we don't have any meat or really any guidelines that's dedicated for our city to do this. And this is what the subcommittee would do and present their findings and then present it to city council.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman.
I know that, that this deals with our marijuana laws, et cetera, et cetera. What specifically would we be looking at? In other words, what do we expect this subcommittee to come up with?
Go ahead.
Actually, I want to say the mayor and I, the economic development director, the city clerk, we have looked at facilities I want to say in the area here. And we would like the subcommittee to take a look at facilities to see how they're run. I want to say they're philanthropic endeavors. All of them seem to be different. We want to see how clean, the establishments are. We have had questions even with the employees, asking them if they like their jobs, if they got health care, if there were pensions involved, things like that. And to get I want to say a flavor for what exactly fits in our community,
Right.
The parts of the business that fit in our community. When people hear about this, they think about nothing but dispensaries. That's not where we're going, with this. There's plenty of other industries that are related to this, as testing, I want to say biochemics, transportation, just warehousing, supplies for this industry. It's tremendous. And the amount of money that's being put into the commercial buildings that are part of this industry, we need to have a subcommittee that can sift through all of those elements, find out what is a good fit for Harper Woods, what is a good location for these specific type of industries, and not any kind of oversaturation
Right.
of any one of these industries to where it's going to take away from other businesses. We're examining areas, and we're not only looking at the facilities, but what has popped up around these facilities. Restaurants, bakeries, dry cleaners, you name it. I mean, lots of things are taking place there, and we also want to have a feel for, excuse me, the management teams. How involved are they? Are they compliant with the city's regulations and ordinances? Do they have a track record of being compliant in the cities that they operate? These are just the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Because you have a flood of requests. You got people, everybody seems to know somebody in this business, and they're trying to get somebody in the door. And we don't want to have a fly-by-night operator in here.
And I assume that whatever the subcommittee comes up with will ultimately come back to the full council.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, they're part of they're the council's subcommittee.
Correct.
So
I just
the
wanted to clarify that for the rest of the council.
Absolutely. This is a big decision, a big direction. It's multifaceted. You're going to have people bombard you left and right with, their opinions, their choices. But again, it comes down to how do you cultivate this business in our community. Every community is a little bit different. Every community has different needs. They have different programs that these businesses support. Everything from recreation to police and fire equipment. It's unbelievable, the types of things that they support.
In terms of the general public, I mean, I know at least one gentleman has approached us about being on this, subcommittee. Should they contact the mayor and, put their name in as an interest, or how is that going to be handled?
Contact the city clerk.
Okay.
And they'll get evaluated. Just come forth with the name and just have them contact Leslie.
Okay, so would the subcommittee of council that places people onto boards and commissions be evaluating the members of the public who might join this subcommittee, or does it need to go through that?
No.
I would think it would be quicker.
Yeah, I don't think
this is not a commission, so it's just a committee.
It's a committee, and the council's going to have the ultimate voice, in this whole endeavor.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes, I just was wondering, this marijuana subcommittee that you're talking about now, is that different than the cannabis committee that was on that list that we got recently? Or is this the same committee?
It's the same.
I believe it's the same. Yeah. Cannabis committee, marijuana committee, whatever you want to call it.
Is there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
Madam Mayor?
Tina?
Yes, I would like to encourage you to select people with different viewpoints. We can't have all the people that on the committee that have the same viewpoint. We should also work with our community partners and our business partners. We have a drug rehab associated with our city, but then we also have businesses that want to be benefit from this. We have residents that are interested. We have residents that are for it, residents that are against it, and a lot of residents that might be against the sales of marijuana, but the transport or one of the other 4 major subcategories, they may not be as much against that. So these are, there's I did a lot of research on this when it came before the ordinance committee a few years ago. So there's a lot of different layers involved, as the acting city manager was saying. There's 4 general categories. So we have transport, we have sales, we have warehousing, we have growing, testing, all these different things that are all part of the big picture. And so it's going to take a lot of research and a lot of investigation to see what would be socially acceptable to our community and beneficial to our community, and what would end up costing us more money than we would be taking in.
Okay.
That's a good point.
All right. Thank you. Is there any further discussion? All right. So this is a motion.
Mhm.
So all in favor of establishing a subcommittee for cannabis in the city of Harper Woods, please say yes.
Aye.
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 Yes.
Madam Mayor, I'm in favor of it as long as the committee is balanced.
Uh,
And there are different viewpoints on the committee.
What do you mean, like people who smoke and some that don't smoke?
Okay, so all in favor, would you raise your hand and say aye, yes or no?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed or abstain?
Motion carries.
The motion carries. Thank you. All right.
I have no further city manager reports, Mayor.
Okay, call the audience and you have to identify yourself. And
We
All
have
right.
3 minutes.
less than 3 minutes on. Do you see any hands?
If you'd like to speak, you could electronically raise your hand. It makes it simpler. We'll go with
Yeah.
those first, and those who can't, then we'll just have to try and identify through other means. So we have 1 hand up right now, Mr. Jarvis.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I want to say hello to the mayor and to the council. I do have a question. Before the elections, there was a great urgency to find a city manager. So now that all this is done and over with the campaigning and all that stuff, I'm kind of curious. Some time has gone by, and I'm kind of wondering if we have any prospects or candidates for the position of city manager in Harper Woods. And if not, I would like to know what city council is doing to make this come to pass, because it's not fair to the acting city manager now, John, to my understanding, to have 3 full-time jobs. I mean, you can laugh and snicker,
No, it's not.
and that's fine. But my concern is that no person can do 3 full-time jobs effectively. That's all I'm saying. Now, I know that John has a little bit of help with the finances. So what that tells me is he has to do some babysitting and he has to do training. So I'm concerned about John as well. I mean, a person can only take so much. It's a lot of pressure. And the whole idea is that we want to work together, right?
Right.
Okay. So my question is what are we doing about finding a city manager that is right for the city? That's all. Thanks.
All right. We are addressing that as we speak. And you should hear shortly from us very soon about the candidates that have applied. That's been part of the problem, the candidates that have applied. So, All right, thank you, Mr. Jarvis. I appreciate that.
Sure.
Is there
Okay, is there anyone else?
Mr.
Mr.
Hakeem
Hakeem.
had his hand up.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, council. Hello, Mayor Larry Hakeem here. Vince, good luck on your retirement, buddy. Hate to see you go, but we all got to do it sometime. And I wasn't in favor of doing it, but it's working out pretty good. So good luck to you, man. It was good dealing with you all these years, especially when you finally made it to the top spot. And like everybody's already reiterated, in an extremely tumultuous time here in the city of Harper Woods. There couldn't have been a
I lost your sound.
You muted yourself.
Is there anyone else with their hands on?
Did you mute me? I was unmuted.
Yeah.
No, sir, not me.
All right. Robotronic, you better cut that out. I know who your wife is. Anyway, again, I just want to express my personal thanks to Vince. Stand-up guy, great job, and wish you all the best in the world.
Yes.
And I hope whoever we bring in behind you can fill one of your shoes anyway. That'd be a big enough shoe to fill. That's all I got.
All right. Is there anyone else with your hand raised that would like to speak? If not,
Yeah, if you don't have your hand raised, I'm looking at my monitors. If you unmute yourself and identify yourself, then wish to speak, then we can let you speak at this time.
okay. We don't see one, we'll call the council. All right, we'll start with Councilwoman Williams.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor. Monday was Dr. Martin Luther King holiday, and Dr. Martin Luther King did a lot of very important things. And I make it a point to have my students research him so they could learn something. Because with the young people, you got to remember that the 60s was almost what, 50 years ago for them. And a lot of them don't even know what was going on at that time. So I know a lot of people went out to serve. So I want to thank everybody out there who did something positive on that day. So I just want to leave you with a quote by Dr. Martin Luther King. Everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace, a soul generated by love. So thank you to everyone who went out and did something, helped somebody or did something positive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Williams. Councilman Jennings.
Yes, I'm muted. I just want to thank Mr. Smith again for everything he's done for the 25 years. And again, as usual, per me, DPW, thank you guys. Thank you for the lead service survey. That's going to help us out a lot. I know it's through Eagle and we got to get it done. So thank you to you guys for stepping up and doing it. And other than that, have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Okay, Councilman Toussaint.
Yes, is the person that's taking Vincent's places, is that a permanent position, or are we still, one time we were talking about going on a nationwide search for a new police chief? Any thoughts on that? So that was just my comment.
Okay, all right. We have to, do you want to answer that? Or you know?
Do you want, we have to fill that vacancy at this time by the collective bargaining agreement and the charters. There's an arbitration award. So we have selected a candidate and we're going through that process right now.
Okay. Councilwoman Constantino.
Yes, two things. Number one, we had an ordinance committee meeting, which you guys heard about. And we're going to be convening again, I think tentatively in 6 weeks, which would be around March 1st. first, we're going to be talking about some ordinance in relation to animals and pets, which Ms. Pies is working on right now. And also, we got a letter from the Helm, which handles our senior citizen activities. And the Helm was asking for some money from our block grants, and basically $14,000 would provide 10,626 Meals on Wheels. And the PATs are Points Area Assisted Transport for generally for seniors, but others can use it too. That would be 2,953 individual trips to medical visits, groceries, pharmacies, banking, or other errands.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pies.
Thank you. Councilwoman Costantino referred to the ordinance committee meeting last night. Originally, I had said that the issue of dog ordinances and pet ordinances was going to be on the agenda. It wasn't, and that was because I am still learning how to get things on the agenda. I was appointed at the previous meeting, which was in October. So I have since learned. I spoke last night. I didn't have my notes in front of me then because I was having computer problems, but suffice to say that I've looked at dog and pet ordinances for East Point, Sterling Heights, Jackson, and I've gone to the Michigan Municipal League website, and they have samples also for different cities. So we spoke about that a little bit. I believe there's other cities and other information to look at. It was decided that I will put a few things together. I will work with our city attorney then on seeing what we can or cannot have in an ordinance, and then the wording for that. So hopefully in 6 weeks, we'll have something for our ordinance committee to look at, and the public is welcome to attend that and have their input. And generally what happens after that then is that the attorney goes back, if the other committee members agree, the attorney goes back and then tweaks the language or changes it. And at that point, it will either come before the committee again, at which point the public would again have input, or we'll all agree that it goes straight to council for a vote. So I just want to let everybody know that this is being worked on. It's something we're paying attention to. We're taking it very seriously. And I know I'm going to be calling a few people also for some advice on what to look at. I've also checked out the state website for some information, and I think their information is like from the early 1900s, if I recall, or their base information at least. And I've also found that there's a few cities that, few other cities that I think radically need to update their information. But it's a learning experience for me, and I look forward to working with some advisors and then with our city attorney, and then coming back with something for the public in 6 weeks. It might take a little bit longer, but we'll see. Right now, it looks like 6 weeks. Also, we all know our city website was down for at least 48 hours the other day. I just want to let everybody know that that's not our fault. And that's not the fault either of the person who handles our website, our business person. And it turns out, because I like to dig around on this stuff when I have the time for it, it turns out it's not even the fault of the person who, of the business that we registered our domain with. There's like a top person up there, a top business, and went to their website. They have about 15 million clients. And from what I was reading, at least a little over 2 million of them, possibly more than that, all had the same problem. And in looking at Twitter, it looks like they're going to be losing a lot of business also. But it appears to me, going through our website, that everything was retained. And I'm sure our Tim O'Brien here, I'm sure he'll be following up on that and taking care of things as necessary. And let's see, oh, just real quick about the city manager thing. That's along the same lines as people not wanting to go into law enforcement and firefighting right now. We haven't formed a commission about that, but if you were to talk to people at the Michigan Municipal League and at SEMCOG, which is the Southeastern Michigan Council of Governments, everybody's having a really difficult time even finding city managers and qualified city managers.
Qualified.
And beyond that, it's even the pay that they want. Our previous city manager who had a salary of about $105,000 annually. Cities our size and smaller are paying like into the 160s. So that's difficult also to find somebody who's willing to work for what we can offer. It's difficult trying to find the experience. I know we've put it out there on the Michigan Municipal League website. I know I share it on Facebook. I think other people do. I think it's out on a couple of other sites too. It's just really difficult trying to find people who are interested in working in public service. I imagine something similar is going on also with clerks and other public service things. Anyway, that's all I have to say for right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Sawicki.
Hi, thank you. Yes, Madam Mayor. I know that the city offices were down last week because I know that a lot of building was taking place behind the scenes. And so I understand we're back up again. And so I was just hoping to hear a little, I guess, review of how everything is working out. And then also, and so, you know, I'll ask the acting city manager to give us a little update on that. But also, I know that we have a number of new council members who, you know, relatively speaking, who have only been on council for a short while. And as a result, the mayor has asked us to look at the council appointments and all of the boards and commissions that we might sit on, the entire council, to review what we have done in the past and how we could switch things up a little bit. I think it's good for us to switch things up from time to time, because a lot of times we get too comfortable in a particular position, and it's fine to have new eyes and ears, you know, in different roles. And so I just want to encourage the council to take a look at the various boards and commissions and get your desires over to Leslie in a timely way. I'm hoping that we can get appointments to all of our boards and commission, that is the subcommittees of council and the various representative boards that we participate in, that we can get that all taken care of in February, if, get it done as soon as possible. And that's all I have to add. So if John wants to update us on the transition at City Hall and that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, for the most part, all the renovations have been done. They're favorable. Employees now, we have a knowledge share environment without disrupting the public, without disrupting others that work on the floor. I want to say the desks, you can stand while you're working. You can sit while you're working. You don't have to get fatigued. It's a very, very modern office environment. I'd invite any one of you to come down and take a look at it, just to see it. And it's kind of like I don't want to say it's like the brain center there.
Well, it certainly is the money center.
Yeah. So we all work very close. We're all going to be sharing knowledge as it occurs down the road, and you have to do that by having close proximity. I mean, you can have computers, you can have phones, you can text, but nothing beats having the people right there. And it's going to cut down on visitors. I want to say at each individual location because we're all together. So it's lending itself to productive efforts, and at the same time, we're going to have fun doing it. So that's a good combo.
All right, but the window is open and,
Oh, yeah, we're up for business. Yeah, we're up for
I
business.
look forward to
We got
seeing it.
Fine a couple little refinements there, but everything is working the way it's supposed to. So.
good, wonderful. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right then.
Yep,
Well, this
Madam
is-
Mayor? Madam Mayor?
Yes, Councilwoman
Yeah,
Pye.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to put it out there that, because I had just remembered recently that the city received some vouchers for hazardous waste recycling and in the fall from Wayne County. And the program was supposed to go until December 31st, but it's been extended. And so we were able to pick up some vouchers from City Hall. And it allowed us to take about 3 or 4 huge rubber containers out to a processing facility that City of Livonia has, I believe. And we had to show our ID and give them the voucher. It's for Harper Woods residents only, and we still have a lot more left at City Hall in the front desk. I was told by Wayne County that the program could stop at any time. So I would say if you can get over there sooner than later, you might want to stop by City Hall and pick up a voucher and take your things over there because we don't know when the program will end. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilman Toussaint, I see your finger up. Quickly.
Councilman Pius, what does this voucher allow us citizens to do? To be able to grab any recyclables they have and take it all the way to Livonia?
Only hazardous waste. So we took a lot of electronics, old computers, cables,
Paint, stuff like that.
radios, paint, all kinds of stuff, but it's anything considered hazardous waste. If you look at the voucher, when you pick it up, it will tell you what you can take.
Thank you. All right. All right. Now to me, and I truly appreciate everyone and want to thank everybody. But today we have a special little thing going on because we're going to wish Councilwoman Sawicki happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Her husband,
Thank you.
bring it in.
Should we have mass chaos and all try singing at the same time?
Yeah, she'll be bringing in her gifts and her cake and everything to say. So let's all say happy birthday.
On the count of 3, everybody. 1, 2, 3.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vivian. Happy birthday to you.
I
know you were
that sounded.
Thank you. You've made my birthday very wonderful. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Enjoy your gifts.
Thank you. Oh my.
All right.
We
Okay,
can sign off because I'm gonna start crying.
don't start crying. But we just your husband informed me today that it was your birthday. And so we got together and did a little something special for you, from all of us here at City Hall and
Thank
City
you.
Council. So we just want to know that our dean of the council is well appreciated.
Yeah.
No,
Thank you very much.
You can slap Mike now.
You can, no, don't slap Mike.
Honestly.
You have candles to blow out? You gonna blow out those candles?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Jennings.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to make the motion for adjournment.
Support.
And one last time, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a
All
good
in
night, everybody.
favor?
Aye, I'm
Aye.
in favor of
Support.
aye.
Is there anyone opposed?
Thank you. Thank you.
Motion carries. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night. Thanks again.